Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Talk English Now. I'm Sarah, and today we're going to focus on simple, useful words that you can use in your everyday life. These words are part of daily conversations, and by practicing them slowly with me, you'll make them a natural part of the way you speak. Let's begin with a very common word. Eat, eat. Eat. Eat means to put food into your mouth, chew, and swallow. It's a verb, an action word. We use it every single day. For example, I eat breakfast at 7. Repeat with me. I eat breakfast at 7. One more time. I eat breakfast at 7. Another example. She is eating an apple. Repeat. She is eating an apple. Again. She is eating an apple. Eating is something we all do daily, so this word is one of your must-know words. Next word is drink. Drink, drink. Drink means to take liquid into your mouth and swallow. It's also a verb. You can drink water, tea, or juice. For example, I drink water every day. Repeat. I drink water every day. Again. I drink water every day. Another example. He is drinking coffee. Repeat. He is drinking coffee. One more time. He is drinking coffee. Let's continue with sleep. Sleep, sleep. Sleep is the natural rest your body needs at night. It's both a verb and a noun. For example, I sleep for 8 hours. Repeat. I sleep for 8 hours. Again. I sleep for 8 hours. Another example, she needs more sleep. Repeat. She needs more sleep. Again. She needs more sleep. Another important daily action word is walk. Walk, walk. Walk means to move by putting one foot in front of the other. It's a verb. For example, I walk to school. Repeat. I walk to school. Again. I walk to school. Another example. They walk in the park. Repeat. They walk in the park. Once more. They walk in the park. The next word is run. Run, run. Run means to move quickly with your legs. It's a verb. For example, I run in the morning. Repeat. I run in the morning. Again. I run in the morning. Another example. He runs fast. Repeat. He runs fast. Again. He runs fast. Now let's look at sit. 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 Sit means to rest on your bottom, usually on a chair. For example, please sit down. Repeat. Please sit down. Once more. Please sit down. Another example. I sit on the sofa. Repeat. I sit on the sofa. Again. I sit on the sofa. Next word is stand. 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 Stand means to be on your feet, not sitting. For example, stand up, please. Repeat. Stand up, please. Again. Stand up, please. Another example. He is standing near the door. Repeat. He is standing near the door. Again. He is standing near the door. Let's continue with open, open, open. Open is a verb that means to move something so it is no longer closed. For example, open the door. Repeat, open the door. Again, open the door. Another example. She opened her book. Repeat. She opened her book. Again. She opened her book. The opposite of open is close. Close, close. Close means to make something shut. For example, close the window. Repeat, close the window. Again, close the window. Another example. He closed the box. Repeat, he closed the box. Again, he closed the box. Now let's practice take. Take, take. Take means to get something with your hands or to accept something. For example, take my hand. Repeat, take my hand. Again, take my hand. Another example. She takes the bus every day. Repeat, she takes the bus every day. Again, she takes the bus every day. Another useful word is give. Give, give. Give means to hand something to another person. For example, please give me the pen. Repeat, please give me the pen. Again, please give me the pen. Another example, he gave her a gift. Repeat, he gave her a gift. Once more, he gave her a gift. Next word is buy. Buy, buy. Buy means to get something by paying money. For example, I buy food at the store. Repeat, I buy food at the store. Again, I buy food at the store. Another example, she buys new shoes. Repeat, she buys new shoes. Again, she buys new shoes. The opposite of buy is sell. Sell, sell. Sell means to give something in exchange for money. For example, they sell fruit at the market. Repeat, they sell fruit at the market. Again, they sell fruit at the market. Another example, he sells cars. Repeat, he sells cars. Again, he sells cars. Let's move to read. Read, read. Read means to look at written words and understand them. For example, I read a book every night. Repeat, I read a book every night. Again, I read a book every night. Another example, she is reading a newspaper. Repeat, she is reading a newspaper. Again, she is reading a newspaper. The next word is write. Write, write. Write means to put words on paper with a pen or pencil or type on a computer. For example, I write a letter to my friend. Repeat, I write a letter to my friend. Again, I write a letter to my friend. Another example, he writes in his notebook. Repeat, he writes in his notebook. Again, he writes in his notebook. Now let's practice speak. Speak, speak. Speak means to say words with your mouth. For example, I speak English. Repeat. I speak English. Again. I speak English. Another example. She speaks very clearly. Repeat. She speaks very clearly. Again. She speaks very clearly. Another important word is listen. Listen, listen. Listen means to pay attention to sounds with your ears. For example, listen to the teacher. Repeat. Listen to the teacher. Again. Listen to the teacher. Another example. He listens to music. Repeat. He listens to music. Again. He listens to music. Next word is look. Look, look. Look means to direct your eyes at something. For example, look at the picture. Repeat. Look at the picture. Again. Look at the picture. Another example. She is looking at the sky. Repeat. She is looking at the sky. Again. She is looking at the sky. The next word is see. See, see. See means to notice something with your eyes. For example, I see a bird. Repeat. I see a bird. Again. I see a bird. Another example. She sees her friend. Repeat. She sees her friend. Again. She sees her friend. Let's continue with hear. Hear, hear. Hear means to notice sounds with your ears. For example, I hear music. Repeat. I hear music. Again. I hear music. Another example. He hears his name. Repeat. He hears his name. Again. He hears his name. Another useful daily action word is cook. 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 Cook means to prepare food by heating it. For example, I cook rice. Repeat. I cook rice. Again. I cook rice. Another example. She is cooking dinner. Repeat. She is cooking dinner. Again. She is cooking dinner. The next word is clean. Clean, clean. Clean means to remove dirt. For example, I clean my room. Repeat. I clean my room. Again. I clean my room. Another example. She cleans the table. Repeat. She cleans the table. Again. She cleans the table. Now let's practice wash. Wash, wash. Wash means to clean something with water and soap. For example, I wash my hands. Repeat. I wash my hands. Again. I wash my hands. Another example. She washes her clothes. Repeat. She washes her clothes. Again. She washes her clothes. The next word is help. Help, help. Help means to make something easier for someone. For example, can you help me? Repeat. Can you help me? Again. Can you help me? Another example. He helps his mother. Repeat. He helps his mother. Again. He helps his mother. Next word is learn. Learn, learn. Learn means to get knowledge or skill. For example, I learn English every day. Repeat. I learn English every day. Again. I learn English every day. Another example. She learns quickly. Repeat. She learns quickly. Again. She learns quickly. Another important word is teach. Teach, teach. Teach means to show or explain something so another person can learn. For example, she teaches English. Repeat. She teaches English. Again. She teaches English. Another example. He teaches math at school. Repeat. He teaches math at school. Again. He teaches math at school. Next word is study. 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 Study means to learn by reading, practicing, or thinking carefully. For example, I study every night. Repeat. I study every night. Again. I study every night. Another example. She studies history. Repeat. She studies history. Again. She studies history. Let's continue with play. Play, play. Play means to do an activity for fun, such as a game or sport. For example, I play soccer. Repeat. I play soccer. Again. I play soccer. Another example. Children play outside. Repeat. Children play outside. Again. Children play outside. The next word is work. Work, work. Work means to do a job or task. For example, I work at a bank. Repeat. I work at a bank. Again. I work at a bank. Another example. She is working hard. Repeat. She is working hard. Again. She is working hard. Now let's practice drive, drive, drive. Drive means to control a car or other vehicle. For example, I drive to work. Repeat. I drive to work. Again. I drive to work. Another example. He drives fast. Repeat. He drives fast. Again. He drives fast. Next word is ride. Ride, ride. Ride means to sit on and control something like a bicycle, horse, or motorcycle. For example, I ride my bike. Repeat. I ride my bike. Again. I ride my bike. Another example. She rides a horse. Repeat. She rides a horse. Again. She rides a horse. The next word is travel. 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 Travel means to go from one place to another. For example, I travel to new countries. Repeat. I travel to new countries. Again. I travel to new countries. Another example. They love to travel. Repeat. They love to travel. Again. They love to travel. Now let's practice wait, wait, wait. Wait means to stay in one place until something happens. For example, please wait here. Repeat. Please wait here. Again. Please wait here. Another example. I wait for the bus. Repeat. I wait for the bus. Again. I wait for the bus. Another common word is stop. Stop, stop. Stop means to not move or not continue. For example, stop talking. Repeat. Stop talking. Again. Stop talking. Another example. The car stopped suddenly. Repeat. The car stopped suddenly. Again. The car stopped suddenly. Next word is start. 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 Start means to begin something. For example, I start school at 9. Repeat. I start school at 9. Again. I start school at 9. Another example. She started a new job. Repeat. She started a new job. Again. She started a new job. Let's move on to finish. 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 Finish means to complete something. For example, I finish my homework. Repeat. I finish my homework. Again. I finish my homework. Another example. He finished the race. Repeat. He finished the race. Again. He finished the race. Now let's practice eat out. Eat out. Eat out. Eat out means to have a meal at a restaurant. For example, we eat out on weekends. Repeat. We eat out on weekends. Again. We eat out on weekends. Another example. She ate out with her friends. Repeat. She ate out with her friends. Again. She ate out with her friends. Next word is drink up. Drink up. Drink up. Drink up means to finish your drink. For example, drink up your milk. Repeat. Drink up your milk. Again. Drink up your milk. Another example. He drank up the water. Repeat. He drank up the water. Again. He drank up the water. The next word is put on. Put on. Put on. Put on means to wear clothes or accessories. For example, I put on my shoes. Repeat. I put on my shoes. Again. I put on my shoes. Another example. She puts on her coat. Repeat. She puts on her coat. Again. She puts on her coat. Now let's practice take off. Take off. Take off. Take off means to remove clothes or for an airplane to leave the ground. For example, take off your hat. Repeat. Take off your hat. Again. Take off your hat. Another example. The plane took off at noon. Repeat. The plane took off at noon. Again. The plane took off at noon. Another useful word is turn on. Turn on. Turn on. Turn on means to make a machine or device start working. For example, turn on the TV. Repeat. Turn on the TV. Again. Turn on the TV. Another example. She turned on the light. Repeat. She turned on the light. Again. She turned on the light. The opposite is turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off means to stop a machine or device from working. For example, turn off your phone. Repeat. Turn off your phone. Again. Turn off your phone. Another example. He turned off the computer. Repeat. He turned off the computer. Again. He turned off the computer. Next word is pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up means to lift something from a surface or to collect someone. For example, pick up the book. Repeat. Pick up the book. Again. Pick up the book. Another example. I pick up my friend from the airport. Repeat. I pick up my friend from the airport. Again. I pick up my friend from the airport. Let's continue with put down, put down, put down. Put down means to place something you are holding onto a surface. For example, put down the bag. Repeat, put down the bag. Again, put down the bag. Another example, he put down his pen. Repeat, he put down his pen. Again, he put down his pen. The next word is call. Call, call. Call means to speak to someone on the phone or to shout their name. For example, I call my mother every day. Repeat, I call my mother every day. Again, I call my mother every day. Another example, she called his name. Repeat, she called his name. Again, she called his name. Another important word is ask. Ask, ask. Ask means to say something to get information or help. For example, ask me a question. Repeat, ask me a question. Again, ask me a question. Another example, she asked for water. Repeat, she asked for water. Again, she asked for water. Next word is answer. Answer, answer. Answer means to reply to a question. For example, please answer the phone. Repeat, please answer the phone. Again, please answer the phone. Another example, he answered quickly. Repeat, he answered quickly. Again, he answered quickly. Let's practice say. Say, say. Say means to speak words. For example, say your name. Repeat, say your name. Again, say your name. Another example, she said hello. Repeat, she said hello. Again, she said hello. The next word is tell. Tell, tell, tell means to inform someone about something. For example, tell me the story. Repeat, tell me the story. Again, tell me the story. Another example, he told her the truth. Repeat, he told her the truth. Again, he told her the truth. Now let's continue with show, show, show. Show means to let someone see something. For example, show me your homework. Repeat, show me your homework. Again, show me your homework. Another example, she showed him the way. Repeat, she showed him the way. Again, she showed him the way. Another word is find. Find, find. Find means to discover something. For example, I find my keys. Repeat, I find my keys. Again, I find my keys. Another example, she found a new job. Repeat, she found a new job. Again, she found a new job. Next word is lose. Lose, lose. Lose means to not have something because it is missing. For example, I lose my phone often. Repeat. I lose my phone often. Again. I lose my phone often. Another example. He lost his wallet. Repeat. He lost his wallet. Again. He lost his wallet. Now let's practice remember. 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 Remember means to keep something in your mind. For example, I remember her name. Repeat. I remember her name. Again. I remember her name. Another example. She remembers the song. Repeat. She remembers the song. Again. She remembers the song. The opposite is forget. 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 Forget means to not remember. For example, I forget his birthday. Repeat. I forget his birthday. Again. I forget his birthday. Another example. He forgot the answer. Repeat. He forgot the answer. Again. He forgot the answer. Another daily action is wash up. Wash up. Wash up. Wash up means to clean your hands and face before or after eating. For example, wash up before dinner. Repeat. Wash up before dinner. Again. Wash up before dinner. Another example. He washed up after lunch. Repeat. He washed up after lunch. Again. He washed up after lunch. Let's continue with brush. Brush, brush. Brush means to clean or arrange something with a brush. For example, I brush my teeth. Repeat. I brush my teeth. Again. I brush my teeth. Another example. She brushes her hair. Repeat. She brushes her hair. Again. She brushes her hair. Next word is comb. 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 Comb means to use a comb to make your hair neat. For example, I comb my hair in the morning. Repeat. I comb my hair in the morning. Again. I comb my hair in the morning. Another example. He combs his hair after a shower. Repeat. He combs his hair after a shower. Again. He combs his hair after a shower. Another useful word is wash. Wash, wash. We already practiced it, but let's use it for the body. For example, I wash my face every day. Repeat. I wash my face every day. Again. I wash my face every day. Another example. She washes her hands before eating. Repeat. She washes her hands before eating. Again. She washes her hands before eating. The next word is shower. Shower, shower. Shower means to wash your whole body with water. For example, I take a shower every morning. Repeat. I take a shower every morning. Again. I take a shower every morning. Another example. He is showering now. Repeat. He is showering now. Again. He is showering now. Now, let's practice bath. Bath, bath. Bath means to wash your body in water, usually in a tub. For example, I take a bath at night. Repeat. I take a bath at night. Again. I take a bath at night. Another example, she gave her baby a bath. Repeat. She gave her baby a bath. Again. She gave her baby a bath. The next word is change. 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 Change means to put on different clothes or to make something different. For example, I change my clothes after school. Repeat. I change my clothes after school. Again. I change my clothes after school. Another example. He changed the channel. Repeat. He changed the channel. Again. He changed the channel. Another daily word is cook. Cook, cook. We practiced it before, but let's connect it with meals. For example, I cook dinner for my family. Rep. Eat. I cook dinner for my family. Again. I cook dinner for my family. Another example. She cooks rice and vegetables. Repeat. She cooks rice and vegetables. Again. She cooks rice and vegetables. Now let's try boil. Boil, boil. Boil means to heat liquid until it is very hot and bubbles. For example, I boil water for tea. Repeat. I boil water for tea. Again. I boil water for tea. Another example. She boiled eggs. Repeat. She boiled eggs. Again. She boiled eggs. The next word is fry. Fry, fry. Fry means to cook food in hot oil. For example, I fry potatoes. Repeat. I fry potatoes. Again. I fry potatoes. Another example. He is frying fish. Repeat. He is frying fish. Again. He is frying fish. Next word is bake. Bake, bake. Bake means to cook food in an oven. For example, I bake bread. Repeat. I bake bread. Again. I bake bread. Another example. She bakes cookies. Repeat. She bakes cookies. Again. She bakes cookies. Another important word is cut. Cut, cut. Cut means to divide something with a knife or scissors. For example, I cut the apple. Repeat. I cut the apple. Again. I cut the apple. Another example. She cuts the paper. Repeat. She cuts the paper. Again. She cuts the paper. Now let's practice slice. 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 Slice means to cut something into thin pieces. For example, I slice the bread. Repeat. I slice the bread. Again. I slice the bread. Another example. He sliced the tomato. Repeat. He sliced the tomato. Again. He sliced the tomato. Next word is mix. Mix, mix. Mix means to put things together so they combine. For example, I mix flour and sugar. Repeat. I mix flour and sugar. Again. I mix flour and sugar. Another example. She mixes the salad. Repeat. She mixes the salad. Again. She mixes the salad. The next word is eat. Eat, eat. We started with this one, but let's add a new sentence. For example, They eat together at the table. Repeat. They eat together at the table. Again. They eat together at the table. Another example. He eats slowly. Repeat. He eats slowly. Again. He eats slowly. Now, let's practice drink, drink, drink. Another set of examples. For example, we drink tea in the afternoon. Repeat. We drink tea in the afternoon. Again. We drink tea in the afternoon. Another example. She drinks orange juice. Repeat. She drinks orange juice. Again. She drinks orange juice. The next word is water. 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 Water is a clear liquid that we drink. It's also used for washing and cooking. For example, I drink water every morning. Repeat. I drink water every morning. Again. I drink water every morning. Another example. Plants need water. Repeat. Plants need water. Again. Plants need water. Another important word is milk. 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 Milk is a white liquid from cows or other animals. For example, I drink milk with breakfast. Repeat. I drink milk with breakfast. Again. I drink milk with breakfast. Another example. She pours milk into the glass. Repeat. She pours milk into the glass. Again. She pours milk into the glass. Next word is tea. 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 Tea is a hot drink made by soaking leaves in water. For example, I drink tea in the morning. Repeat. I drink tea in the morning. Again. I drink tea in the morning. Another example. She made a cup of tea. Repeat. She made a cup of tea. Again. She made a cup of tea. The next word is coffee. 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 Coffee is a hot drink made from roasted beans. For example, he drinks coffee every day. Repeat. He drinks coffee every day. Again. He drinks coffee every day. Another example. She made coffee for her friend. Repeat. She made coffee for her friend. Again. She made coffee for her friend. Now let's practice juice. 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 Juice is liquid from fruit or vegetables. For example, I drink apple juice. Repeat. I drink apple juice. Again. I drink apple juice. Another example. She likes orange juice. Repeat. She likes orange juice. Again. She likes orange juice. Next word is bread. 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 Bread is a baked food made from flour. For example, I eat bread for breakfast. Repeat. I eat bread for breakfast. Again. I eat bread for breakfast. Another example. She baked fresh bread. Repeat. She baked fresh bread. Again. She baked fresh bread. The next word is rice. 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 Rice is a small white or brown grain eaten as food. For example, I eat rice every day. Repeat. I eat rice every day. Again. I eat rice every day. Another example. She cooks rice for lunch. Repeat. She cooks rice for lunch. Again, she cooks rice for lunch. Another common word is egg, egg, egg. Egg is food from a bird, usually a chicken. For example, I eat eggs for breakfast. Repeat, I eat eggs for breakfast. Again, I eat eggs for breakfast. Another example, she boiled 2 eggs. Repeat, she boiled 2 eggs. Again, she boiled 2 eggs. Next word is meat. Meat, meat. Meat is the food from animals. For example, I eat meat for dinner. Repeat, I eat meat for dinner. Again, I eat meat for dinner. Another example, he doesn't eat meat. Repeat, he doesn't eat meat. Again, he doesn't eat meat. Now let's practice fish. Fish, fish. Fish is an animal that lives in water and is also food. For example, we eat fish on Fridays. Repeat, we eat fish on Fridays. Again, we eat fish on Fridays. Another example, she bought fresh fish. Repeat, she bought fresh fish. Again, she bought fresh fish. The next word is chicken. Chicken, chicken. Chicken is a kind of bird and also food. For example, I eat chicken with rice. Repeat, I eat chicken with rice. Again, I eat chicken with rice. Another example, she cooks chicken soup. Repeat, she cooks chicken soup. Again, she cooks chicken soup. Another important food word is fruit. Fruit, fruit. Fruit is the sweet part of plants that we eat. For example, I eat fruit every day. Repeat, I eat fruit every day. Again, I eat fruit every day. Another example, bananas are my favorite fruit. Repeat, bananas are my favorite fruit. Again, bananas are my favorite fruit. Next word is vegetable. Vegetable, vegetable. Vegetable is a plant or part of a plant eaten as food. For example, I like green vegetables. Repeat, I like green vegetables. Again, I like green vegetables. Another example, she buys fresh vegetables. Repeat, she buys fresh vegetables. Again, she buys fresh vegetables. Let's continue with apple. Apple, apple. Apple is a round fruit that is usually red, green, or yellow. For example, I eat an apple every morning. Repeat, I eat an apple every morning. Again, I eat an apple every morning. Another example, she bought a big apple. Repeat, she bought a big apple. Now, again, she bought a big apple. Next word is banana. Banana, banana. Banana is a long yellow fruit. For example, I eat a banana after lunch. Repeat, I eat a banana after lunch. Again, I eat a banana after lunch. Another example, he peeled a banana. Repeat, he peeled a banana. Again, he peeled a banana. The next word is orange. Orange, orange. Orange is a round fruit with orange skin. For example, I drink orange juice. Repeat, I drink orange juice. Again, I drink orange juice. Another example, she ate an orange. Repeat, she ate an orange. Again, she ate an orange. Now let's practice grape. Grape, grape. Grape is a small round fruit, usually purple or green. For example, I eat grapes as a snack. Repeat, I eat grapes as a snack. Again, I eat grapes as a snack. Another example, she bought a bunch of grapes. Repeat, she bought a bunch of grapes. Again, she bought a bunch of grapes. Next word is mango. Mango, mango. Mango is a sweet tropical fruit with yellow or orange flesh. For example, I eat mangoes in the summer. Repeat, I eat mangoes in the summer. Again, I eat mangoes in the summer. Another example, she made mango juice. Repeat, she made mango juice. Again, she made mango juice. Another fruit is pear. Pear, pear. Pear is a sweet fruit that is green or yellow with a soft inside. For example, I eat a pear for lunch. Repeat, I eat a pear for lunch. Again, I eat a pear for lunch. Another example, she cut the pear into pieces. Repeat, she cut the pear into pieces. Again, she cut the pear into pieces. The next word is pineapple. Pineapple, pineapple. Pineapple is a tropical fruit with a rough skin and sweet yellow inside. For example, I like pineapple on pizza. Repeat, I like pineapple on pizza. Again, I like pineapple on pizza. Another example, she bought a pineapple. Repeat, she bought a pineapple. Again, she bought a pineapple. Now let's practice strawberry. Strawberry, strawberry. Strawberry is a small red fruit with tiny seeds. For example, I love strawberries with cream. Repeat, I love strawberries with cream. Again, I love strawberries with cream. Another example, she picked strawberries from the garden. Repeat, she picked strawberries from the garden. Again, she picked strawberries from the garden. Next word is peach. Peach, peach. Peach is a soft fruit with fuzzy skin and sweet taste. For example, I eat peaches in the summer. Repeat, I eat peaches in the summer. Again, I eat peaches in the summer. Another example, she bought fresh peaches. Repeat, she bought fresh peaches. Again, she bought fresh peaches. Another fruit is melon. Melon, melon. Melon is a large round fruit with sweet flesh inside. For example, I eat melon in hot weather. Repeat, I eat melon in hot weather. Again, I eat melon in hot weather. Another example, she cut the melon. Repeat, she cut the melon. Again, she cut the melon. The next word is carrot. carrot, carrot. Carrot is a long orange vegetable. For example, I eat carrots in my salad. Repeat. I eat carrots in my salad. Again, I eat carrots in my salad. Another example, she cooked carrots for dinner. Repeat. She cooked carrots for dinner. Again, she cooked carrots for dinner. Now let's practice potato. Potato, potato. Potato is a round vegetable that grows underground. For example, I eat potatoes with meat. Repeat. I eat potatoes with meat. Again, I eat potatoes with meat. Another example, he fried the potatoes. Repeat. He fried the potatoes. Again, he fried the potatoes. Next word is tomato. Tomato, tomato. Tomato is a red vegetable-like fruit used in salads and cooking. For example, I eat tomato soup. Repeat. I eat tomato soup. Again. I eat tomato soup. Another example. She sliced a tomato. Repeat. She sliced a tomato. Again. She sliced a tomato. Another vegetable is onion. Onion, onion. Onion is a round vegetable with strong taste and smell. For example, I cut onions for cooking. Repeat. I cut onions for cooking. Again. I cut onions for cooking. Another example. She fried onions. Repeat. She fried onions. Again. She fried onions. The next word is cabbage. Cabbage, cabbage. Cabbage is a leafy green or purple vegetable. For example, I eat cabbage salad. Repeat. I eat cabbage salad. Again. I eat cabbage salad. Another example. She cooked cabbage soup. Repeat. She cooked cabbage soup. Again. She cooked cabbage soup. Now let's practice cucumber. Cucumber, cucumber. Cucumber is a long green vegetable eaten raw. For example, I eat cucumber in salad. Repeat. I eat cucumber in salad. Again. I eat cucumber in salad. Another example, she sliced a cucumber. Repeat. She sliced a cucumber. Again. She sliced a cucumber. Next word is pepper. Pepper, pepper. Pepper is a vegetable that can be green, red, or yellow, and it can also mean a spice. For example, I eat green peppers. Repeat. I eat green peppers. Again. I eat green peppers. Another example. She put black pepper on her food. Repeat. She put black pepper on her food. Again. She put black pepper on her food. Another vegetable is corn. Corn, corn. Corn is a yellow plant food that grows on cobs. For example, I eat corn on the cob. Repeat. I eat corn on the cob. Again. I eat corn on the cob. Another example. She cooked corn soup. Repeat. She cooked corn soup. Again. She cooked corn soup. The next word is bean. Bean, bean. Bean is a small seed used as food, often green or brown. For example, I eat beans with rice. Repeat. I eat beans with rice. Again, I eat beans with rice. Another example, she cooked beans for dinner. Repeat, she cooked beans for dinner. Again, she cooked beans for dinner. Now let's practice bread roll. Bread roll, bread roll. Bread roll is a small round piece of bread. For example, I eat a bread roll with butter. Repeat, I eat a bread roll with butter. Again, I eat a bread roll with butter. Another example, she baked bread rolls. Repeat, she baked bread rolls. Again, she baked bread rolls. Next word is butter, butter, butter. Butter is a soft yellow food made from milk. For example, I spread butter on my bread. Repeat, I spread butter on my bread. Again, I spread butter on my bread. Another example, she melted butter in the pan. Repeat, she melted butter in the pan. Again, she melted butter in the pan. Another important word is cheese, cheese, cheese. Cheese is a solid food made from milk. For example, I eat cheese with bread. Repeat, I eat cheese with bread. Again, I eat cheese with bread. Another example, she put cheese on the pizza. Repeat, she put cheese on the pizza. Again, she put cheese on the pizza. The next word is sugar, sugar, sugar. Sugar is a sweet substance used in food and drinks. For example, I put sugar in my tea. Repeat, I put sugar in my tea. Again, I put sugar in my tea. Another example, she bought sugar from he store. Repeat, she bought sugar from the store. Again, she bought sugar from the store. Now let's practice salt. Salt, salt. Salt is a white substance used to give flavor to food. For example, I add salt to the soup. Repeat, I add salt to the soup. Again, I add salt to the soup. Another example, she put salt on the fries. Repeat, she put salt on the fries. Again, she put salt on the fries. Next word is oil, oil, oil. Oil is a liquid used in cooking. For example, I cook with olive oil. Repeat, I cook with olive oil. Again, I cook with olive oil. Another example, she fried food in oil. Repeat, she fried food in oil. Again, she fried food in oil. Another useful word is soup, soup, soup. Soup is a liquid food usually made by boiling meat or vegetables. For example, I eat soup for lunch. Repeat, I eat soup for lunch. Again, I eat soup for lunch. Another example, she made chicken soup. Repeat, she made chicken soup. Again, she made chicken soup. The next word is salad, salad, salad. Salad is a dish of mixed vegetables or fruits, usually raw. For example, I eat salad every day. Repeat, I eat salad every day. Again, I eat salad every day. Another example, she made a fresh salad. Repeat, she made a fresh salad. Again. She made a fresh salad. Next word is sandwich. Sandwich, sandwich. Sandwich is two pieces of bread with food like meat or cheese in between. For example, I eat a sandwich for lunch. Repeat. I eat a sandwich for lunch. Again. I eat a sandwich for lunch. Another example. She made a cheese sandwich. Repeat. She made a cheese sandwich. Again. She made a cheese sandwich. The next word is pizza. Pizza, pizza. Pizza is a flat bread with tomato, cheese, and other toppings baked in an oven. For example, we eat pizza on Friday. Repeat, we eat pizza on Friday. Again, we eat pizza on Friday. Another example, she ordered a pizza. Repeat, she ordered a pizza. Again, she ordered a pizza. Now let's practice burger. Burger, burger. Burger is a sandwich with meat or vegetables inside a bun. For example, I eat a burger with fries. Repeat. I eat a burger with fries. Again. I eat a burger with fries. Another example. He bought a chicken burger. Repeat. He bought a chicken burger. Again. He bought a chicken burger. Next word is fries. Fries, fries. Fries are thin pieces of potato cooked in oil. For example, I eat fries with ketchup. Repeat. I eat fries with ketchup. Again. I eat fries with ketchup. Another example. She ordered fries with her meal. Repeat. She ordered fries with her meal. Again. She ordered fries with her meal. Another common food is pasta. 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 Pasta is food made from flour, usually cooked in boiling water. For example, I eat pasta for dinner. Repeat. I eat pasta for dinner. Again. I eat pasta for dinner. Another example. She cooks pasta with sauce. Repeat. She cooks pasta with sauce. Again. She cooks pasta with sauce. The next word is noodles. Noodles, noodles. Noodles are long, thin pieces of food made from flour and water. For example, I like noodles with vegetables. Repeat. I like noodles with vegetables. Atsi, gain. I like noodles with vegetables. Another example. He eats noodles for lunch. Repeat. He eats noodles for lunch. Again. He eats noodles for lunch. Now let's practice ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream is a cold, sweet food made of milk and sugar. For example, I eat ice cream in summer. Repeat. I eat ice cream in summer. Again. I eat ice cream in summer. Another example. She likes chocolate ice cream. Repeat. She likes chocolate ice cream. Again. She likes chocolate ice cream. Next word is cake. Cake, cake. Cake is a sweet baked food often eaten on birthdays. For example, I eat cake at parties. Repeat. I eat cake at parties. Again. I eat cake at parties. Another example. She baked a chocolate cake. Repeat. She baked a chocolate cake. Again, she baked a chocolate cake. The next word is cookie. Cookie, cookie. Cookie is a small, sweet baked food, also called biscuit. For example, I eat cookies with milk. Repeat. I eat cookies with milk. Again. I eat cookies with milk. Another example. She baked fresh cookies. Repeat. She baked fresh cookies. Again. She baked fresh cookies. Now let's practice chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate. Chocolate is a sweet made from cocoa beans. For example, I eat chocolate after dinner. Repeat. I eat chocolate after dinner. Again. I eat chocolate after dinner. Another example. She bought a bar of chocolate. Repeat. She bought a bar of chocolate. Again. She bought a bar of chocolate. Another common drink is water bottle. Water bottle, water bottle. Water bottle is a container used to hold water. For example, I carry a water bottle. Repeat. I carry a water bottle. Again. I carry a water bottle. Another example. She filled her water bottle. Repeat. She filled her water bottle. Again. She filled her water bottle. The next word is cup. 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 Cup is a small container used for drinking. For example, I drink tea from a cup. Repeat. I drink tea from a cup. Again. I drink tea from a cup. Another example. She washed the cup. Repeat. She washed the cup. Again. She washed the cup. Now let's practice glass. Glass, glass. Glass is a clear container used for drinks. For example, I drink water from a glass. Repeat. I drink water from a glass. Again. I drink water from a glass. Another example. She broke the glass. Repeat. She broke the glass. Again. She broke the glass. Next word is plate. Plate, plate. Plate is a flat dish used for food. For example, I put food on the plate. Repeat. I put food on the plate. Again. I put food on the plate. Another example. She washed the plates. Repeat. She washed the plates. Again. She washed the plates. Another useful word is bowl. Bowl, bowl. Bowl is a round, deep dish for food like soup or rice. For example, I eat soup from a bowl. Repeat. I eat soup from a bowl. Again. I eat soup from a bowl. Another example. She filled the bowl with rice. Repeat. She filled the bowl with rice. Again. She filled the bowl with rice. The next word is spoon. Spoon, spoon. Spoon is a tool with a small, bowl-shaped end used for eating. For example, I eat soup with a spoon. Repeat. I eat soup with a spoon. Again. I eat soup with a spoon. Another example. She used a spoon to stir. Repeat. She used a spoon to stir. Again. She used a spoon to stir. Now let's practice fork, fork, fork. Fork is a tool with points used to eat food. For example, I eat salad with a fork. Repeat. I eat salad with a fork. Again. I eat salad with a fork. Another example. She picked up pasta with a fork. Repeat. She picked up pasta with a fork. Again. She picked up pasta with a fork. Next word is knife, knife, knife. Knife is a sharp tool used for cutting. For example, I cut meat with a knife. Repeat. I cut meat with a knife. Again. I cut meat with a knife. Another example. She sharpened the knife. Repeat. She sharpened the knife. Again. She sharpened the knife. Another common item is table, table, table. Table is a piece of furniture with a flat top and legs. For example, we eat at the table. Repeat. We eat at the table. Again. We eat at the table. Another example. She put books on the table. Repeat. She put books on the table. Again. She put books on the table. The next word is chair. Chair, chair. Chair is a piece of furniture for sitting. For example, I sit on the chair. Repeat. I sit on the chair. Again. I sit on the chair. Another example. She bought new chairs. Repeat. She bought new chairs. Again. She bought new chairs. Now let's practice sofa. Sofa, sofa. Sofa is a long, comfortable seat for more than one person. For example, I sit on the sofa and watch TV. Repeat. I sit on the sofa and watch TV. Again. I sit on the sofa and watch TV. Another example. She lay on the sofa. Repeat. She lay on the sofa. Again. She lay on the sofa. Next word is bed. Bed, bed. Bed is furniture for sleeping on. For example, I sleep in my bed. Repeat. I sleep in my bed. Again. I sleep in my bed. Another example. She made her bed. Repeat. She made her bed. Again. She made her bed. Another common word is desk. 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 Desk is a table used for work or study. For example, I write at my desk. Repeat. I write at my desk. Again. I write at my desk. Another example. She sat at her desk. Repeat. She sat at her desk. Again. She sat at her desk. The next word is lamp. 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 Lamp is a device that gives light. For example, I turn on the lamp. Repeat. I turn on the lamp. Again. I turn on the lamp. Another example. She bought a new lamp. Repeat. She bought a new lamp. Again. She bought a new lamp. Now let's practice door, door, door. Door is a flat object that opens and closes to let people in or out. For example, I opened the door. Repeat. I opened the door. Again. I opened the door. Another example. She closed the door. Repeat. She closed the door. Again. She closed the door. Next word is window. Window, window. Window is an opening in a wall with glass that lets light in. For example, I opened the window. Repeat. I opened the window. Again. I opened the window. Another example. She cleaned the window. Repeat. She cleaned the window. Again. She cleaned the window. Another word is floor. 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 Floor is the surface you walk on inside a room. For example, I clean the floor. Repeat. I clean the floor. Again. I clean the floor. Another example. She sat on the floor. Repeat. She sat on the floor. Again. She sat on the floor. The next word is wall. Wall, wall. Wall is the vertical part of a room that divides or surrounds it. For example, the picture is on the wall. Repeat. The picture is on the wall. Again. The picture is on the wall. Another example. She painted the wall. Repeat. She painted the wall. Again. She painted the wall. Now let's practice roof. Roof, roof. Roof is the top covering of a building. For example, the roof keeps us dry. Repeat. The roof keeps us dry. Again. The roof keeps us dry. Another example. He fixed the roof. Repeat. He fixed the roof. Again. He fixed the roof. Next word is ceiling. Ceiling, ceiling. Ceiling is the top inside surface of a room. For example, the light is on the ceiling. Repeat. The light is on the ceiling. Again. The light is on the ceiling. Another example. She painted the ceiling white. Repeat. She painted the ceiling white. Again. She painted the ceiling white. The next word is stairs. Stairs, stairs. Stairs are steps that connect one level of a building to another. For example, I walk up the stairs. Repeat. I walk up the stairs. Again. I walk up the stairs. Another example. She went down the stairs. Repeat. She went down the stairs. Again. She went down the stairs. Now let's practice kitchen. Kitchen, kitchen. Kitchen is the room where food is cooked. For example, I cook in the kitchen. Repeat. I cook in the kitchen. Again. I cook in the kitchen. Another example. She cleaned the kitchen. Repeat. She cleaned the kitchen. Again. She cleaned the kitchen. Next word is bathroom. Bathroom, bathroom. Bathroom is the room where you wash, shower, or use the toilet. For example, I brush my teeth in the bathroom. Repeat. I brush my teeth in the bathroom. Again. I brush my teeth in the bathroom. Another example. She cleaned the bathroom. Repeat. She cleaned the bathroom. Again. She cleaned the bathroom. Another common word is bedroom. Bedroom, Bedroom. Bedroom is the room where you sleep. For example, I sleep in the bedroom. Repeat. I sleep in the bedroom. Again. I sleep in the bedroom. Another example. She cleaned her bedroom. Repeat. She cleaned her bedroom. Again. She cleaned her bedroom. The next word is living room. Living room. Living room. Living room is the main room in a house for relaxing and sitting. For example, we watch TV in the living room. Repeat. We watch TV in the living room. Again. We watch TV in the living room. Another example. She decorated the living room. Repeat. She decorated the living room. Again. She decorated the living room. Now let's practice garage. 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 Garage is a place to park cars. For example, I park my car in the garage. Repeat. I park my car in the garage. Again. I park my car in the garage. Another example. She opened the garage door. Repeat. She opened the garage door. Again. She opened the garage door. Next word is garden. 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 Garden is land where flowers, vegetables, or fruits are grown. For example, I work in the garden. Repeat. I work in the garden. Again. I work in the garden. Another example. She grows tomatoes in the garden. Repeat. She grows tomatoes in the garden. Again. She grows tomatoes in the garden. Another useful word is yard. 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 Yard is land around a house, usually grass-covered. For example, children play in the yard. Repeat. Children play in the yard. Again. Children play in the yard. Another example. He cut the grass in the yard. Repeat. He cut the grass in the yard. Again. He cut the grass in the yard. The next word is school. 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 School is a place where children go to learn. For example, I go to school. Repeat. I go to school. Again. I go to school. Another example. She studies at school. Repeat. She studies at school. Again. She studies at school. Now let's practice classroom. 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 Classroom is a room in a school where students learn. For example, we sit in the classroom. Repeat. We sit in the classroom. Again. We sit in the classroom. Another example. She teaches in the classroom. Repeat. She teaches in the classroom. Again. She teaches in the classroom. Next word is teacher. 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 Teacher is a person who helps students learn. For example, the teacher explains the lesson. Repeat. The teacher explains the lesson. Again. The teacher explains the lesson. Another example. She is my English teacher. Repeat. She is my English teacher. Again. She is my English teacher. Another important word is student. 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 Student is a person who is learning in school. For example, I am a student. Repeat. I am a student. Again. I am a student. Another example. She is a good student. Repeat. She is a good student. Again. She is a good student. The next word is book. 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 Book is a set of written pages bound together. For example, I read a book. Repeat. I read a book. Again. I read a book. Another example. She opened her book. Repeat. She opened her book. Again. She opened her book. Now let's practice notebook. Notebook, notebook. Notebook is a book with blank pages for writing. For example, I write in my notebook. Repeat. I write in my notebook. Again, I write in my notebook. Another example. She bought a new notebook. Repeat. She bought a new notebook. Again. She bought a new notebook. Next word is pen. Pen, pen. Pen is a tool used for writing with ink. For example, I write with a pen. Repeat. I write with a pen. Again. I write with a pen. Another example. She lost her pen. Repeat. She lost her pen. Again. She lost her pen. Another useful word is pencil. Pencil, pencil. Pencil is a tool for writing with graphite. For example, I draw with a pencil. Repeat. I draw with a pencil. Again. I draw with a pencil. Another example, she sharpened her pencil. Repeat. She sharpened her pencil. Again. She sharpened her pencil. The next word is eraser. Eraser, eraser. Eraser is a small object used to remove pencil marks. For example, I use an eraser to fix mistakes. Repeat. I use an eraser to fix mistakes. Again. I use an eraser to fix mistakes. Another example. She bought a pink eraser. Repeat. She bought a pink eraser. Again. She bought a pink eraser. Now, let's practice bag. Bag, bag. Bag is something used to carry books or other items. For example, I carry my books in a bag. Repeat. I carry my books in a bag. Again. I carry my books in a bag. Another example. She has a school bag. Repeat. She has a school bag. Again. She has a school bag. Next word is computer. Computer, computer. Computer is an electronic device used for work, study, and play. For example, I use a computer at school. Repeat. I use a computer at school. Again. I use a computer at school. Another example. She plays games on the computer. Repeat. She plays games on the computer. Again. She plays games on the computer. Another common word is phone. Phone, phone. Phone is a device used to talk to people at a distance. For example, I call my friend on the phone. Repeat. I call my friend on the phone. Again. I call my friend on the phone. Another example. She answered the ping song. Hone. Repeat. She answered the phone. Again. She answered the phone. The next word is television. Television, television. Television is a device for watching programs and movies. For example, I watch television in the evening. Repeat, I watch television in the evening. Again, I watch television in the evening. Another example, she turned off the television. Repeat, she turned off the television. Again, she turned off the television. Now let's practice radio. Radio, radio. Radio is a device for listening to music or news. For example, I listen to the radio in the car. Repeat, I listen to the radio in the car. Again, I listen to the radio in the car. Another example, she turned on the radio. Repeat, she turned on the radio. Again, she turned on the radio. Next word is clock. Clock, clock. Clock is a device that shows the time. For example, I look at the clock. Repeat, I look at the clock. Again, I look at the clock. Another example, she bought a new clock. Repeat, she bought a new clock. Again, she bought a new clock. Another important word is watch. Watch, watch. Watch is a small clock worn on the wrist. For example, I wear a watch. Repeat, I wear a watch. Again, I wear a watch. Another example, she looked at her watch. Repeat, she looked at her watch. Again, she looked at her watch. The next word is time. Time, time. Time means the hours and minutes of the day. For example, what time is it? Repeat, what time is it? Again, what time is it? Another example, she spends time with her family. Repeat, she spends time with her family. Again, she spends time with her family. Now let's practice day. Day, day. Day means the time when the sun is up or a period of 24 hours. For example, today is a good day. Repeat, today is a good day. Again, today is a good day. Another example, she works every day. Repeat, she works every day. Again, she works every day. Next word is night. Night, night. Night is the time when it is dark and people usually sleep. For example, good night, see you tomorrow. Repeat, good night, see you tomorrow. Again, good night, see you tomorrow. Another example, she studies at night. Repeat, she studies at night. Again, she studies at night. Another useful word is morning. Morning, morning. Morning is the early part of the day, from sunrise until noon. For example, good morning, how are you? Repeat, good morning, how are you? Again, good morning, how are you? Another example, she goes jogging every morning. Repeat, she goes jogging every morning. Again, she goes jogging every morning. The next word is afternoon. Afternoon, afternoon. Afternoon is the time from noon until evening. For example, Good afternoon, class. Repeat. Good afternoon, class. Again. Good afternoon, class. Another example. I take a rest in the afternoon. Repeat. I take a rest in the afternoon. Again. I take a rest in the afternoon. Now, let's practice evening. 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 Evening is the time after the afternoon, usually before night. For example, good evening, everyone. Repeat. Good evening, everyone. Again. Good evening, everyone. Another example. We walk in the park in the evening. Repeat. We walk in the park in the evening. Again. We walk in the park in the evening. Next word is week. Week, week. Week is a period of 7 days. For example, I go to school 5 days a week. Repeat. I go to school 5 days a week. Again. I go to school 5 days a week. Another example. She works 6 days a week. Repeat. She works 6 days a week. Again. She works 6 days a week. Another useful word is month. 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 Month is one of 12 parts of a year. For example, January is the first month of the year. Repeat. January is the first month of the year. Again. January is the first month of the year. Another example. She visits her parents once a month. Repeat. She visits her parents once a month. Again. She visits her parents once a month. The next word is year. Year, year. Year is 12 months or 365 days. For example, a year has 4 seasons. Repeat. A year has 4 seasons. Again. A year has 4 seasons. Another example. She traveled last year. Repeat. She traveled last year. Again. She traveled last year. Now let's practice today. 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 Today means the present day. For example, I feel happy today. Repeat. I feel happy today. Again. I feel happy today. Another example. She is busy today. Repeat. She is busy today. Again. She is busy today. Next word is yesterday. 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 Yesterday means the day before today. For example, I met my friend yesterday. Repeat. I met my friend yesterday. Again. I met my friend yesterday. Another example. She was sick yesterday. Repeat. She was sick yesterday. Again. She was sick yesterday. Another important word is tomorrow. 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 Tomorrow means the day after today. For example, I will see you tomorrow. Repeat. I will see you tomorrow. Again. I will see you tomorrow. Another example. She has a test tomorrow. Repeat. She has a test tomorrow. Again. She has a test tomorrow. The next word is sun. 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 Sun is the star that gives us light and heat. For example, the sun is shining. Repeat. The sun is shining. Again. The sun is shining. Another example. She looked at the setting sun. Repeat. She looked at the setting sun. Again. She looked at the setting sun. Now let's practice moon, moon, moon. Moon is the round object in the sky at night. For example, the moon is bright tonight. Repeat. The moon is bright tonight. Again. The moon is bright tonight. Another example. She saw a full moon. Repeat. She saw a full moon. Again. She saw a full moon. Next word is star. Star, star. Star is a bright point of light in the night sky. For example, I see many stars. Repeat. I see many stars. Again. I see many stars. Another example. She wished upon a star. Repeat. She wished upon a star. Again. She wished upon a star. Another useful word is sky. 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 Sky is the space above the earth. For example, the sky is blue. Repeat. The sky is blue. Again. The sky is blue. Another example. Clouds fill the sky. Repeat. Clouds fill the sky. Again. Clouds fill the sky. The next word is cloud. Cloud, cloud. Cloud is a white or gray mass in the sky made of water. For example, a cloud is covering the sun. Repeat. A cloud is covering the sun. Again. A cloud is covering the sun. Another example. She saw big clouds in the sky. Repeat. She saw big clouds in the sky. Again. She saw big clouds in the sky. Now let's practice rain, rain, rain. Rain is water that falls from the sky. For example, it is raining outside. Repeat. It is raining outside. Again. It is raining outside. Another example. She walked in the rain. Repeat. She walked in the rain. Again. She walked in the rain. Next word is snow. Snow, snow. Snow is frozen water too. Hat falls from the sky as white flakes. For example, it is snowing today. Repeat. It is snowing today. Again. It is snowing today. Another example. She played in the snow. Repeat. She played in the snow. Again. She played in the snow. Another useful word is wind. Wind, wind. Wind is moving air. For example, the wind is strong. Repeat. The wind is strong. Again. The wind is strong. Another example. She felt the wind on her face. Repeat. She felt the wind on her face. Again. She felt the wind on her face. The next word is storm. Storm, storm. Storm is bad weather with rain, wind, or thunder. For example, a storm is coming. Repeat. A storm is coming. Again. A storm is coming. Another example, she was afraid of the storm. Repeat. She was afraid of the storm. Again. She was afraid of the storm. Now, let's practice hot. Hot, hot. Hot means having a high temperature. For example, the soup is hot. Repeat. The soup is hot. Again. The soup is hot. Another example, it is hot in summer. Repeat. It is hot in summer. Again. It is hot in summer. Next word is cold. Cold, cold. Cold means having a low temperature. For example, the water is cold. Repeat. The water is cold. Again. The water is cold. Another example. It is cold in winter. Repeat. It is cold in winter. Again. It is cold in winter. Another useful word is warm. Warm, warm. Warm means having a comfortable temperature between hot and cold. For example, the blanket is warm. Repeat. The blanket is warm. Again. The blanket is warm. Another example. It is warm in spring. Repeat. It is warm in spring. Again. It is warm in spring. The next word is cool. Cool, cool. Cool means slightly cold, but pleasant. For example, the evening air is cool. Repeat. The evening air is cool. Again. The evening air is cool. Another example. She drank cool water. Repeat. She drank cool water. Again. She drank cool water. Now let's practice happy. Happy, happy. Happy means feeling good or pleased. For example, I am happy today. Repeat. I am happy today. Again. I am happy today. Another example. She looks happy. Repeat. She looks happy. Again. She looks happy. Next word is sad. Sad, sad. Sad means feeling unhappy. For example, I feel sad sometimes. Repeat. I feel sad sometimes. Again. I feel sad sometimes. Another example. She looks sad. Repeat. She looks sad. Again. She looks sad. Another important word is angry. 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 Angry means feeling mad or upset. For example, he is angry at his brother. Repeat. He is angry at his brother. Again. He is angry at his brother. Another example. She looks angry. Repeat. She looks angry. Again. She looks angry. The next word is afraid. Afraid, afraid. Afraid means feeling fear. For example, the child is afraid of the dark. Repeat. The child is afraid of the dark. Again. The child is afraid of the dark. Another example. She is afraid of snakes. Repeat. She is afraid of snakes. Again. She is afraid of snakes. Now let's practice tired. Tired, tired. Tired means needing rest or sleep. For example, I am tired after work. Repeat. I am tired after work. Again. I am tired after work. Another example. She looks tired. Repeat. She looks tired. Again. She looks tired. Next word is hungry. 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 Hungry means needing food. For example, I am hungry now. Repeat. I am hungry now. Again. I am hungry now. Another example, she feels hungry in the morning. Repeat, she feels hungry in the morning. Again, she feels hungry in the morning. Another useful word is thirsty, thirsty, thirsty. Thirsty means needing drink. For example, I am thirsty after running. Repeat, I am thirsty after running. Again, I am thirsty after running. Another example, she is thirsty for water. Repeat, she is thirsty for water. Again, she is thirsty for water. The next word is sick. Sick, sick. Sick means not healthy or ill. For example, I feel sick today. Repeat, I feel sick today. Again, I feel sick today. Another example, she is sick with the flu. Repeat, she is sick with the flu. Again, she is sick with the flu. Next word is healthy. Healthy, healthy. Healthy means strong and not sick. For example, I eat fruit to stay healthy. Repeat, I eat fruit to stay healthy. Again, I eat fruit to stay healthy. Another example, she is very healthy. Repeat, she is very healthy. Again, she is very healthy. The next word is doctor. Doctor, doctor. Doctor is a person who helps sick people get better. For example, I go to the doctor. Repeat, I go to the doctor. Again, I go to the doctor. Another example, she is a good doctor. Repeat, she is a good doctor. Again, she is a good doctor. Now let's practice nurse, nurse, nurse. Nurse is a person who takes care of patients in a hospital. For example, the nurse helped me. Repeat, the nurse helped me. Again, the nurse helped me. Another example, she is a kind nurse. Repeat, she is a kind nurse. Again, she is a kind nurse. Next word is teacher. Teacher, teacher. Teacher is a person who shows students how to learn. For example, my teacher teaches English. Repeat, my teacher teaches English. Again, my teacher teaches English. Another example, she is my teacher. Repeat, she is my teacher. Again, she is my teacher. Another common word is driver. Driver, driver. Driver is a person who controls a car, bus, or truck. For example, the driver stops the bus. Repeat, the driver stops the bus. Again, the driver stops the bus. Another example, he is a taxi driver. Repeat, he is a taxi driver. Again, he is a taxi driver. The next word is farmer. Farmer, farmer. Farmer is a person who grows food and raises animals. For example, the farmer works in the field. Repeat, the farmer works in the field. Again, the farmer works in the field. Another example, she is a farmer. Repeat, she is a farmer. Again, she is a farmer. Now let's practice police officer. Police officer. Police officer. Police officer is a person who keeps people safe and enforces the law. For example, the police officer helps people. Repeat. The police officer helps people. Again. The police officer helps people. Another example. She is a police officer. Repeat. She is a police officer. Again. She is a police officer. Next word is firefighter. 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 Firefighter is a person who puts out fires and helps in emergencies. For example, the firefighter saved a cat. Repeat, the firefighter saved a cat. Again, the firefighter saved a cat. Another example, he is a firefighter. Repeat, he is a firefighter. Again, he is a firefighter. Another useful word is pilot, pilot, pilot. Pilot is a person who flies an airplane. For example, the pilot is flying the plane. Repeat, the pilot is flying the plane. Again. He pilot is flying the plane. Another example, she is a pilot. Repeat, she is a pilot. Again, she is a pilot. The next word is singer, singer, singer. Singer is a person who sings songs. For example, the singer is on stage. Repeat, the singer is on stage. Again, the singer is on stage. Another example, she is a famous singer. Repeat, she is a famous singer. Again, she is a famous singer. Now let's practice artist. Artist, artist. Artist is a person who makes art like paintings or drawings. For example, the artist is painting. Repeat, the artist is painting. Again, the artist is painting. Another example, she is a good artist. Repeat, she is a good artist. Again, she is a good artist. Next word is actor, actor, actor. Actor is a person who plays a role in movies or theater. For example, the actor is on TV. Repeat, the actor is on TV. Again, the actor is on TV. Another example, he is a famous actor. Repeat, he is a famous actor. Again, he is a famous actor. Another useful word is friend, friend, friend. Friend is a person you like and spend time with. For example, I have a good friend. Repeat, I have a good friend. Again, I have a good friend. Another example, she is my best friend. Repeat, she is my best friend. Again, she is my best friend. The next word is family, family, family. Family means the people you live with, like parents, brothers, or sisters. For example, I love my family. Repeat, I love my family. Again, I love my family. Another example, she has a big family. Repeat, she has a big family. Again, she has a big family. Now let's practice mother. Mother, mother. Mother is a woman who has children. For example, my mother cooks dinner. Repeat, my mother cooks dinner. Again, my mother cooks dinner. Another example, she is my mother. Repeat, she is my mother. Again, she is my mother. Next word is father. Father, father. Father is a man who has children. For example, my father drives a car. Repeat, my father drives a car. Again, my father drives a car. Another example, he is my father. Repeat, he is my father. Again, he is my father. Another common word is brother. Brother, brother. Brother is a boy or man with the same parents as you. For example, I have a younger brother. Repeat, I have a younger brother. Again, I have a younger brother. Another example, he is my brother. Repeat, he is my brother. Again, he is my brother. The next word is sister. Sister, sister. Sister is a girl or woman with the same parents as you. For example, I have an older sister. Repeat, I have an older sister. Again, I have an older sister. Another example, she is my sister. Repeat, she is my sister. Again, she is my sister. Now let's practice child, child, child. Child means a young boy or girl. For example, the child is playing. Repeat, the child is playing. Again, the child is playing. Another example, she is a happy child. Repeat, she is a happy child. Again, she is a happy child. Next word is baby, baby, baby. Baby means a very young child. For example, the baby is sleeping. Repeat, the baby is sleeping. Again, the baby is sleeping. Another example, she holds the baby. Repeat, she holds the baby. Again, she holds the baby. Another useful word is man, man, man. Man means an adult male. For example, the man is tall. Repeat, the man is tall. Again, the man is tall. Another example, he is a kind man. Repeat, he is a kind man. Again, he is a kind man. The next word is woman, woman, woman. Woman means an adult female. For example, the woman is strong. Repeat, the woman is strong. Again, the woman is strong. Another example, she is a smart woman. Repeat, she is a smart woman. Again, she is a smart woman. Now let's practice people, people, people. People means more than one person. For example, many people are here. Repeat. Many people are here. Again. Many people are here. Another example. She met new people. Repeat. She met new people. Again. She met new people. Next word is city. 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 City is a large town with many people and buildings. For example, I live in a big city. Repeat. I live in a big city. Again. I live in a big city. Another example. She works in the city. Repeat. She works in the city. Again. She works in the city. Another useful word is village. 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 Village is a small place in the countryside where people live. For example, my grandmother lives in a village. Repeat. My grandmother lives in a village. Again. My grandmother lives in a village. Another example. The village is quiet. Repeat. The village is quiet. Again. The village is quiet. The next word is road. 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 Road is the way for cars and people to travel. For example, cars drive on the road. Repeat. Cars drive on the road. Again. Cars drive on the road. Another example. She crossed the road. Repeat. She crossed the road. Again. She crossed the road. Now, let's practice street. 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 Street is a smaller road in a town or city. For example, I live on this street. Repeat. I live on this street. Again. I live on this street. Another example. Children are playing in the street. Repeat. Children are playing in the street. Again. Children are playing in the street. Next word is bus. 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 Bus is a large vehicle that carries many people. For example, I go to school by bus. Repeat. I go to school by bus. Again. I go to school by bus. Another example. She takes the bus to work. Repeat. She takes the bus to work. Again. She takes the bus to work. Another important word is train. 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 Train is a long vehicle that moves on tracks and carries people. For example, we travel by train. Repeat. We travel by train. Again. We travel by train. Another example. She is waiting for the train. Repeat. She is waiting for the train. Again. She is waiting for the train. The next word is car. 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 Car is a small vehicle used for traveling. For example, I drive a car. Repeat. I drive a car. Again. I drive a car. Another example. She bought a new car. Repeat. She bought a new car. Again. She bought a new car. Now let's practice bike. Bike, 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 or bicycle is a two-wheeled vehicle you ride by pedaling. For example, I ride my bike to school. Repeat. I ride my bike to school. Again. I ride my bike to school. Another example. She bought a red bike. Repeat. She bought a red bike. Again. She bought a red bike. Next word is airplane. 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 Airplane is a flying vehicle used for long-distance travel. For example, the airplane is landing. Repeat. The airplane is landing. Again. The airplane is landing. Another example. She traveled by airplane. Repeat. She traveled by airplane. Again. She traveled by airplane. Another common word is ship. 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 Ship is a large boat that travels on the sea. For example, the ship is in the harbor. Repeat. The ship is in the harbor. Again. The ship is in the harbor. Another example. She traveled by ship. Repeat. She traveled by ship. Again. She traveled by ship. The next word is walk. 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 We started with this, but let's add another example. For example, I walk to the park. Repeat. I walk to the park. Again. I walk to the park. Another example. She walks to school. Repeat. She walks to school. Again. She walks to school. And that brings us to the end of our 300 everyday English words. You've practiced words for food, daily life, places, travel, emotions, and so much more. I'm really proud of the progress you've made today. Learning a big group of words like this can feel heavy, but every single word you practiced will help you in real conversations. Keep repeating them, keep using them, and they'll become a natural part of your English. Thank you so much for joining me in this long practice session. You're doing an amazing job by staying with me until the end. Remember, the secret to success is not speed, but consistency. Just keep practicing little by little every day, and you will be fluent. I believe in you. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future lessons. See you next time, and keep practicing with confidence.